Now, if you notice, I have 7 ladders over there, and there's one outside. I hope to very seldom use those anymore. I come up with a cool toy that may save my life. That is a scissor lift. It goes up 16 feet. Now the 16 feet is at the top of the rails. This is a little different than some of the scissor lifts you'll see. Okay. Why did I choose this thing? Why did I decide to get a scissor lift, especially this scissor lift specifically, instead of just continuing to use ladders? Well, I'm an old man now. Gray beard, gray hair, all that stuff. I've been pretty active throughout my life, do a lot of construction type stuff and so on. And that means I have to go up on ladders quite a bit. Well, I get a little antsy. If I fall off of one of those ladders, I'll probably never be able to do the work again. I may be permanently disabled. So I thought, let's see if we can deal with this problem. I've worked with a lot of these things, not this specific type, but a lot of these things with when I was in my working life, HVAC. We had several scissor lifts that we used for various things. And I thought about one of those. You know, they're powered, that you can drive them around, and you can get them to lift however high you want. You buy used one for, you know, at auction sale for probably about $3,000, maybe a little more. The problem with them was they're very heavy. This thing is about 900 pounds. It's not light, but it's not heavy. I mean, it has to be heavy in the bottom anyway. So, and that would probably have worked okay. I wanted something that was pretty small. Now this thing, when it's all closed up, it's 2 feet wide and it's about, I don't know, 5.5 or something feet long. So it's pretty small. And that's good. Also, when I was looking at these things, I could have bought one that was an all-terrain one, because I actually want one that I can take off of a concrete slab. So an all-terrain one is going to cost me a bunch more money, and they're way bigger. Now, everything's just getting bigger and bigger and heavier and more expensive. And I saw this thing on eBay, and I'll put a link in it. I have no connection to the sellers of this thing, other than I bought one from them. I paid for it. I mean, you know, this is not a free tool or something like that. So I looked at this thing and I thought, you know, this isn't bad. Now this thing's not powered. It's just got casters on it. Swivel casters on one side, straight casters on the back. You can move it around. You know, it's got locks on the wheels, and you kind of move it around like that. So it's not the lightest thing in the world, but I can generally move this thing as fast as I can move a ladder, and I can carry stuff in it. You know, I got a little toolbox up there, which came off of my Kubota tractor, which is too small for the Kubota, and it's probably too small for this thing. It's, you know, it's okay. Probably not enough, but okay. When I looked at this thing, I thought, you know, this could do what I want it to do. It may save me from falling off a ladder and finishing me until I'm a dead man. So let's go over this thing. I'm going to walk around it a bit tell you what it does, what it doesn't do, and so on. And we'll see what you think of it. Okay, let's do a quick walk around. Okay, you can put about 660 pounds on it. It'll lift 660 pounds. Goes up 16 feet. Again, that 16 feet is right there. It's got outriggers on it. I'm going to demonstrate these outriggers. Okay, the outriggers are pretty simple. You've got these little adjustable doohickeys here. Turn it like that, and then it'll lift it. It'll actually lift the whole thing off the ground if you go far enough. Pull up the little knob, goes back like that. Again, on this side, same thing. Then it's ready for travel. Now, I usually leave them out, except when I'm storing it. It does have locks that hold them out. When I lift up that little knob. You could use it without them. I would never do that. I think it's dangerous. You don't want the freaking thing to tip over. Okay. Thing about these, there used to be little handles on those. The handles all broke off almost immediately. I'm going to have to come up with some daveling or something to put on here to make this a little easier to rotate around. That was a defect in the machine. Another defect here, these locks that are supposed to lock this thing don't work. They broke. They broke almost immediately. I'll give you a view of the inside of this thing with the guts on it here in a minute. Those failed. I had to put a washer and a bolt in it to keep that in. Quick look inside. There's a battery there. It's just a lead acid battery. Hydraulics on the left. Just an electric hydraulic pump and a reservoir and assorted wiring and switches and stuff. Maybe a quickie here. This is on, off, charge. When you put it to charge, there's a little cord that you plug in there when you're not using it, and then you turn it back on. On this side, you've got a little level here, little bubble level, and you can, when the outriggers are out, you can wind those down and get the bubble in the center. That's where you should have it. This is a caster lock here. Take it off, it'll roll around. These are pretty good, they actually hold good. But if the outriggers are out, it kind of takes the wheels off the ground. Okay, this is a roll around machine. They don't want you moving this thing with it up, especially with somebody in it, because your outriggers are not deployed. What you're supposed to do is move it around where you want it, lock it down, and then go up. Okay, a couple things it doesn't do well. One, if you take this thing and put it in the grass or the dirt or something, it's not going to work there. It's you try to push it through a grassy yard or something, you'll wish you hadn't tried that. It just doesn't work that way. It's not supposed to be off of concrete. Now, I got a solution for that, because a lot of my lifts that I do are on top of dirt or grass or something. So I have a solution for that. And I'm going to get into it in the second video on this thing, because this thing has a really cool part of it. These are fork pockets. You can lift this up with a forklift and take it around where you want. And I'll get into that in the second video. Now this is an example of one of the projects that this thing helped me with. That's a 12 by 12 door. to my shop, and the original door just wore out. It was 30 years old. It was just falling apart. So I went and bought a new door, and I was able to put all this in. If I had not used this thing, I'd have been up and down a ladder 1,000 times trying to get this stupid thing done. With this thing, I could put it up close, take one of the sections like this. You know, the first couple sections are easy, but you get up here, it's a little bit tougher. I could take this section and lay it on top of this thing, raise it up to wherever I needed it, and I would just rise it up with me and the section on there and put it on. And just get it mounted in and get it secured. It was just a lot easier, and it was a bunch safer. So I did a deck with these things. I had to replace a beam on a deck. Maybe in the next video I'll show you that one. I've used it for all kinds of things like that. Now, it's not especially cheap, and you know, the price is going to be whatever it is now. I think when I bought it, it was like $3,200, and about another $300 to ship it, because it has to be truck shipped. You know, it weighs close to 1,000 pounds, so it's not going to be cheap to ship. But I looked at it. I have enough money to do this kind of stuff, and if I was looking at, you know, getting hurt, falling off a ladder, it costs a lot more than the $3,500 or so I got into this thing. So next video, I'm going to show you how I set this up on a forklift so that I can use it just about any place I want. It's actually more stable than even when it's low. So that's it on this one.